This is Steve Ridgel, and this is my, well, every 6 months or maybe annually, but it's my reminder of how to deal with sin. And you're going, okay, so what are you going to talk about? Well, I'm going to start with all these spots. You can see, I went to my dermatologist. Now, when you're seeing this video, that's probably been about a month ago, but I go every 6 months, and here's why I go. If you look closely, you can see a big scar right up there. That's where I had a big melanoma cut out. It wasn't the first time. I had one on the kind of on the top of my chest cut off several years ago, and then this one a few years ago, and then not long ago I had one right over here cut off. Melanoma, for those of you who don't know, is the worst part of skin cancer. If you don't treat it, it can be serious, and people die from it. So uh, when they found out I had this one, they cut it off. This one was extensive, major kind of surgery, and then this one. Now, I don't think about my, in fact, when people say cancer survivors, I don't even think about it that way. But ever since they've had these, every 6 months they go in and boy, they look for everything. So the other day when I was in, they were checking to be sure this had healed up. She said, "Boy, it looks great." And then she said, "Well, we're gonna zap you with they freeze all these little spots off. So zip, 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 bzz, 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 zip, zip." And so she was going along, and I said, I may not be counting right, but I feel like I've had like 20 wasp things on my face. And she said, yeah, a little more than 20. And I said, boy, what are you doing? Just taking everything that even looks like it could be? And she said, yeah, yeah, we don't mess around once you've had this. We're not going to give any melanoma a chance to get a foothold. So she said, I think most of these look fine, but we take no chances. And now you've already figured out where this is going about sin in your life. We take no chances. Like every Christian, I've had things in my life I had to cut out. Sin in my life that just couldn't stay there. And so once you cut it out, you're intentional. You're intense about not letting it even creep back. In fact, if anything even looks like sin, I stay away from it. And it really doesn't matter what your sin is. You be ruthless. At Hillcrest, where I'm on staff, we work with a lot of people who come out of addictions. And they won't even, when they are serious about kicking their alcoholism or their drug use, they don't hang around with people that use or drink. They don't even go around where social drinking is. They don't go anywhere near alcohol. They are just rigid about not being anywhere or around anything that even looks like it could because they know they're just one step from getting back in the life. Well, that's kind of true for all of us in our sin. So whatever your sin was, you be rigid about the preventative things. I mean, I don't wear a cap. I wear a hat to do anything outside. So you be in the Word. You pray a lot. You learn to reach out to people. Boy, you just be rigid about. You don't. If lust is an issue with you, you don't even talk to your secretary by yourself. You just be rigid about anything that could potentially give Satan an opening. And so that's why we do these kind of things. And it's why in your life you want to do the things you need to do to make sure you keep the sin you work so hard to get out of your life, keep out of your life. This is Steve Ridgel, being thankful for second chances and trying to make the most of it.